one of our AMAs with both co-founders, Martin Diaz and myself, Ignacio Palmera. Unfortunately, our CTO Cal could not be here with us today due to a vet emergency. Let's all hope his dog is doing all right and recovers. It's been a while since we've given the community and everyone here an update about, the general state of things. So we wanted to touch base with the community and, basically put you up to date with everything. I'm in Miami at the moment. Martin's in London, and we've already prepared a few questions that have come up throughout the community over time. Um, we're gonna get started right away, question by question. So, Eddie, can you start sharing the questions, or should we just read them out loud, Eddie? Oh, there we go. Okay, so perfect. As everyone can see, how the financial market crash impacting Web3. So Web3 to begin with is much bigger than just cryptocurrency or the price action of tokens, right? That's to begin with. So Web3 is all the emerging technologies that make up this next iteration of the internet that is more user owned. So that's metaverse, gaming, DeFi, blockchain infrastructure, tokens. So how is it kind of affecting the entire Web3 space? So it doesn't have, it is affected, but just like the general macro is affected. So everyone's kind of focused on the cryptocurrency crash, but that's just one application of the blockchain technology. The investment in the underlying projects that are whole of Web3 are still going at full speed, right? So I think at least my personal view is that the best time to build, the best time to focus on R&D, and is now, is during a bear market. So that's what we're focusing on ourselves as well. There's no better time to build, no distractions. The price market action doesn't matter as much as what you're building. And I'm excited to see the next iteration of projects that come out that I think are going to be smarter, because people have to be more disciplined and they have to think of things that people are really going to use versus hype or tourists or all the other use cases that were a bit over the top that I think in the last cycle. And that's it for that question number one. Eddie, if we can move to question number two. So I think you skip one.
Let's just go with that one.
Yeah, Eddie, it's number two. It says investment in Web3 slowdown. So this is a mixed question. So has investment in Web3 slowed down? I would say no, but the amount of companies that get funded has decreased. Certainly venture capital has become a little more disciplined in who they fund and who they don't. So far this year, though, according to TechCrunch data, over 23 billion has been invested in Web3 startups. So this compares to almost 30 billion that was invested in total last year, and that was a record year. So even this year, according to Cointelegraph research, Web3 has become the sector with most interest for VCs. They do say that some are holding funds back. They say that there's something around like 300 to 500 billion of pent-up demand of VC funds that will have to deploy. It's just that they're seeing how the macro kind of unravels. But with that said, good projects, quality projects are still getting funded. And I'm proud to say that we've been able to raise a successful seed round throughout the summer, despite the market conditions. And that just shows the quality of the project and the belief in our vision. And next question, Eddie. Right. So the layoffs. So there's many scenarios in this, right? But with so much money being invested in Web3 projects, I think the jobs in this sector will continue to come, right? And as the funded projects move towards building their platforms, the need for talent will continue to grow. So some companies overhired over the past cycle and they've had to layoffs, but that means that the total supply of talent has actually increased. How do I see the massive layoffs in the general Web2 companies, right? Microsoft is the latest. They just announced 1,000 people laid off. So these are people who are tech savvy, who are very smart, who are now more probably receptive to starting a career in Web3 because it's the next frontier. So I actually think layoffs at all these big tech companies could be good for Web3 because it means more people would be willing to start a career in Web3. We're going to bring smarter people. And again, it's demand and supply. The demand for talent in Web3 still outweighs the supply. So overall, I think it's a good dynamic for us. And I think no matter whether there is a recession or just a cool of the jobs market in general, in the Web2 space or traditional industry, it would be beneficial for Web3 as we will capitalize on that and kind of poach a lot of talent from those traditional industries. And let's go to the next question. And this one's from Martin.
Yep, I'll take this one. So, do I need special degrees or qualifications to work in Web3? Well, I think something that Ignacio mentioned before, Web3 and blockchain is a new technology, and that has two implications. First of all, there's a huge talent gap. There's immense need for new people to come into the business. And then second of all, blockchain hasn't been around for that long. So there isn't that many skills or academic degrees that you can get in blockchain. So if you mix all of those together, what people are really looking for are not specific degrees, but your skills. It's skills-based hiring as opposed to qualification-based. So no, you don't need a specific degree for that. Next. Okay, so what else are companies looking for? So when we talk to our Web3 partners and clients, there's basically two things that companies are looking for. First of all, that you're enthusiastic and interested about the field, so that you read the different news, so that you follow the different developments. Crypto and blockchain moves every single day, so you need to be on top of the latest news. And you showing that you follow the news is essential for that. So that's the first thing. And then you need to be, the second thing, you need to be tech savvy. You need to be somewhat of I would say, an entrepreneur, not have the fear of moving into a new technology. There's a lot of funding in Web3, a lot of funding in blockchain. And a lot of these companies, a lot of the projects that we work with, they have the same amount of funding as any other Web2 company. So you need to go out there and look for the right opportunities and not fear jumping into anything new. In fact, that's part of the beauty of it. I think that's next question. How do I prepare to get into the industry? I think that ties perfectly into what I was saying before. First, you need to read a lot on the industry. You need to talk to a lot of people. There are new technologies being launched every day. There are new projects. There are new approaches to the same problem, but from the Web3 perspective. So you knowing what's going on and what are the latest trends, it's incredibly important. Not only for you and your chances of getting a job, but for your own education and in order to find out what is the best job for you. So that would be the first thing. Then the second thing, I would research what are the type of jobs that you're into and what are the skills that they require. Do you have them? Do you need to take further training? Can you get them somewhere else? Or can you just contact the company directly or use Bondex to get in contact with the team and find out if you're a good fit for them? And then lastly, the third thing I would say would be try to get some certifications or some sort of training. Again, not going to the academic side, but there's a lot of education out there that you can enroll in and get your kind of career off the tracks. Those are the three recommendations that I would say. So first of all, I repeat, start reading and looking about the industry. Try to match the skills requirements for the job with yours, and then try to get some certifications that will get you up to speed.
Okay, so this question in itself, why jump from the safety of a big tech job into a risky Web3 job? So I disagree fundamentally with the structure of the question itself, because I don't consider Web3 risky, right? It's got this stigma from, its early days, but I think it would be like asking someone when mobile first came around and there were no developers for iOS or Android, would it be risky to start developing skills in mobile? Right, mobile has turned out to be the future. Right, it's the new frontier. It was the new frontier of technology. So to me, it's like asking, is it risky to jump into a different, into the latest emerging technology skills? No. Again, there's an arbitrage in your opportunity of getting better compensated if you're somewhere in which the supply of talent is lower. And again, here demand is much higher than supply. But ironically, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, and Amazon, Meta's Facebook parent company, and Alphabet, Google's parent company, are all signaling impending layoffs, which makes a career in Web2 less certain than before. In contrast, joining these freshly funded Web3 companies prepares you to participate in this next surge of an exciting industry. Not to mention that all those companies I just mentioned in Web2, which are the traditional tech giants, they're the largest investors in Web3, and all of them have Web3 and blockchain skills and technologies that they're hiring for. So again, this question doesn't make sense in its entirety because I don't see that as a risky jump. And ironically, layoffs are going around in the entire industry. So going towards somewhere in which the demand for talent is higher is the way to go. Let's go to the next question, Eddie. So I think everyone should have a different answer and perspective on why Web3 is so exciting. For me, there's many aspects of it, from the democratization of a business model towards user empowerment to individual sovereignty. There's many things about Web3 that get me excited. But you know, I think Web3 is different from previous generational shifts, and this is a generational shift that we've had, at least millennials, the opportunity to take a takeoff. We didn't take part in the previous tech boom. We didn't create the financial crisis and the previous financial boom that happened before that. So this is kind of our generational paradigm shift, and at its core, it's about giving the power back to the users and empowering the users back. Web2 did a great job of providing value to users and people around the world. But once you storm the castle, you tend to get comfortable. Once they realized that data was more powerful than oil, they decided to keep all the profits to themselves. And when you're using their products, you think you're getting a free product, but really your data is the product. You're the product. So basically now what Web3 by empowering the user, we can break away from the world where having a social media account means having your personal data sold to advertisers or worse. And essentially we move away from a Web2 value flow in which they control, which is all controlled by a few companies. And Web3 can change that, right? Users can own their content, they can own their data, and they can find and better ways if or they want to monetize. And if they want to monetize, control how it gets monetized. It's a complete paradigm shift. And I think it's also about adding value. Not every user makes the same amount of effort in a network, right? Not every user plays the same role in a network. In our case at Bondex, we're a three-sided marketplace. We have employers, we have recruiters, or introducers, as well as individual professionals. Each one serves a different role, and the more value that they add, the more we want to empower them. And this is something that was not able to do before. Before, you just tiered users by who was paying and who was not. And the whole point of Bondex is that users, individual users and professionals were neglected by traditional talent platforms, and they only focus on the experience and the incentives of those who were paying, who are employers. The idea here of Web3 and why Web3 is so exciting and why we're excited at Bondex is we're going to give power back to the users who are the ones that are adding value to the network. And that's it for me on that. So what kind of applications will blockchain technology have? So this is a question that can be, it's very wide ranging. I think the possibilities are endless. Do I believe everything will be Web3 and blockchain in the future? I'm not sure if that's it, but will it be something really big? And globally, absolutely, I believe in that. So blockchain will improve many industries that are considered very traditional today: banking, real estate, manufacturing, talent in our case, banking with DeFi, which has been the biggest application so far, and many, many more. That's just naming a few. In fact, according to CB Insights, blockchain could transform 65 big industries, and more than that, 80% of top established companies are now vested in Web3. So think about Starbucks with their NFT programs, Gucci with their metaverse and NFT programs or Balenciaga, Mastercard and Visa both have crypto divisions now. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan are now having them implemented in their asset management teams. So there you go. Web3 is taking over. There's going to be a mix of new startups and new challengers to the incumbents, as well as traditional players who are kind of having adoption. So it's going to be, it's already big, but we're just at the first step of adoption. We're in the beginning, so it's still very early to get involved. Let's go to the next question, Eddie.
Okay, I'll take this one. Is Web3 taking jobs away from Web2? I actually think this is a very good question, and a question that has come up before in meetings. I think you should see Web3 as another technology and not a complete replacement of Web2, sorry. So Web3 is just another way of looking at things. It's just sharing the economics back with the user. So not monetizing and utilizing all of your data and giving it back to the company, but sharing with those who produce the data, the real owners of the data, which are the users. So in that sense, we're not creating completely different jobs. If you look at some of the verticals in blockchain, let's say metaverse, you still need engineers, developers, and you need a lot of code in the background, creators, architects. So those are not new jobs. You're just adding jobs into the workforce. In fact, when you look at some other new technologies, you have AI, Internet of Things, machine learning, a lot of new technologies that are also adding more jobs into the marketplace. They're not taking them away. So I think in that sense, Web3 is not cutting jobs from Web2, but rather expanding that pool of opportunities for any candidate that wants to work in tech, whether it is from the tech side or from any of the other supporting roles.
So, what are the major areas where the newest opportunities are in Web3? So, again, Web3 has many verticals: metaverse, NFTs, DeFi, and the creator economy, just to name a few. Where do I see the newest opportunities? Instead of the newest opportunities, I would say what I think is most resilient in now, which is not the greatest environment for, but this is at a macro level, right? There's a lot of talks of recession. I cannot predict the future. This is not financial advice, but I think resiliency will come in the form of, or the areas that are more resilient are gaming and metaverse. Why? Because as you see, a lot of fashion brands and main brands, even automobile brands, are implementing NFTs into their business models, right? And metaverse and NFTs and metaverse are kind of put into one branch. They're kind of interacting together. They're digital strategies, right? Apple has said AR is going to be the biggest thing coming. Facebook just released their new Quest 2 glasses. So all these things, I think, are some of the things that everyone should be getting educated on. And then gaming. During times of uncertainty or recession, people tend to like to escape to entertainment. So even if there's a downturn, which again, I cannot predict the future, I think the most resilient things would be gaming and metaverse slash NFTs. And we can move to the next question. So this is the last question for today, guys. So do Web3 technologies have applications in the mainstream? Well, absolutely. Technologies such as blockchain are helping with provenance, basically useful in the talent market, testing, quality management, real estate, to NFTs helping companies come up with ingenious ways to utilize the rewards are the tip of the iceberg. These are some of the new use cases that we've seen. Again, NFT for reward program that Starbucks just did. We just did one with Mobilize, which is a leasing company that are doing with Renault. They're doing an NFT company. It's a much better way to interact with your community, right? You have a physical object like a car, and you have an NFT, and you own both, and you interact with both. So it's way beyond the physical world. It's mixing the physical and the virtual world for twice the amount of interaction, creating more consumer loyalty and a lot more ways to get to know your end user at the end of the day. And as these technologies take shape, their usage in everyday life will become more and more pervasive. So we're just at the very beginning. And that's why starting a career in Web3 is so exciting, because you're part of pioneering new ways of doing business, new business models. And that was the last question, guys. Before we open it to Q&A, I just want to say, thank you for listening. These are some of the questions that have come up over the last few months. I hope we've done a good job of answering some of the things that have been going on in the company and how we view the future and the short term and near term. And we'll open it to Q&A.
I think this is a very good question, and I know that you, Ignacio, want to take it.
Yeah. So thank you. This is certainly a good question. So I think, what is the main purpose of Bondex? So the main purpose of Bondex is to make the exchange of talent more efficient, therefore making the global labor market more efficient and having a good impact in the global economy. That's the first mission. Right now, talent infrastructure is not good enough in creating enough trust for people to exchange their time and skills and labor across the world. Anyone in an emerging country with an internet connection that is smart and hardworking should be able to work for a company in the first world, but they're not trusted with complex opportunities. So that's kind of our mission. Now, how will we benefit the cryptocurrency community? So far, the biggest adoption lever has been speculation. Speculation has been the main driver of adoption for crypto and Web3. We don't see that as the main push that we want for Bondex. We want Bondex to attract really smart people and individuals to come into Web3 because they have an exciting career ahead of them, a well-compensated career working on challenging problems at the cutting edge, that are challenging the status quo and the present companies. And we want to attract those people with an exciting career versus speculation. And that's what I think we're going to do with the cryptocurrency community and or the crypto ecosystem, is we're going to attract a lot of smart people to work with us and make Web3 a reality. And it's going to be a fantastic impact for the entire industry. And I hope that answers everything very clearly. Great question.
Okay, I'll take this one. Well, thank you for the congratulations. Many job seekers prefer local job sites that are similar to your platform in general. Do you have any localization studies related to this? I guess by localization, you're asking whether we're focusing on certain markets or whether people want to work in a certain office or more remotely. I think what we're seeing from our ever-growing user base is that, especially in Web3, there are no boundaries. If you look at our company, we have, I think, close to 30 employees now. Each of them is in a different country. And I think that's very representative of the Web3 space. So again, we said that you don't need qualifications, or more, you don't need academic, there are no academic requirements. I think there are no location requirements either, especially in Web3. Now, I could talk about all of blockchain as well and say that there are no requirements for you to be in an office or for you to be of a certain nationality. But I think that for some of them, there might be. So talking more about Web3 in specific, I think that the amount of possibilities is endless. And as long as you can fit the skill requirements that we talked about before, and you're knowledgeable on what you want to do, that specific sector, whether you work from home or whether you're located in one time zone or the other, that doesn't matter for the Web3 space. Let's do the next one.
So it would have been great for Kyle, our CTO, to be here. Unfortunately, as we said, he had a pet emergency. Again, let's hope his dog is all right. But so I do believe so. Right now, our data storage and kind of cloud is run of AWS, which is one of the premier platforms in the world with plenty of security, embedded into the platform. But I put all my faith in Kyle and the team and our tech team. Kyle comes from U.S. counterintelligence background in the Army. He has hacking and counter-hacking skills, so we're well taken care of in our tech leadership to actually, implement the security measures needed to prevent this. And so we're pretty proud and excited about kind of the robustness of our infrastructure going forward. So, of course, it's something you worry about, but not something I'm too scared of given the talent that we have. Okay, so how do we get the community involved in developing the project? So we did this by tokenizing and incentivizing people being involved in the growth of the network, right? Versus, for example, LinkedIn, the Web2 traditional platform. You're just a user. You're using a product, but you're not involved in its growth, right? So we basically tokenize referral systems, and eventually, what we want to do is be able to value your network and how good your network is. And so that's how we got it involved. We released our beta mobile app to have community market fit, and so that's how we incentivize community growth, and we got people involved in building the project, and it's been fantastic. So many people reach out, super excited. They want to collaborate with us. They want to help in every way possible. They have very interesting proposals. So it's been fantastic to have such strong community from the beginning, and we're excited that we have such a strong user base to release product on. And so, how do we build it globally? To be honest, the network effects surprised even us ourselves. We were not expecting such strong growth, and then globally, incredibly, it's actually distributed pretty evenly between the U.S. and Europe, Asia, and the rest of the world. How did this happen? Virality grows in each little part, but it happened fully organically. We haven't done any paid advertising to date. Something I'm excited about to do in the future, but not something that we need to at all. So we've fully grown organically as a global platform, and we've done it without any marketing spend. So thank you everyone for joining today. I appreciate it. I hope we've giving clarity to a lot of your questions. We'll be doing this more regularly. I think we spent too much time between AMAs, but I just want to finish by saying, listen, we're the leading platform in the world. We've had 1.3 million total registered users, and we keep growing. So please keep exploring, keep inviting your friends, and there's going to be very, very, very cool opportunities coming to the platform before the year end. So be on the lookout for that, and also the upgrade of our apps. So again, follow the green rabbit and join the talent revolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone.